Hello YouTube and welcome to the Loose Transistor channel. I'm your host Lucas, and today we're starting another build and review series, this time on the Saturn Multirotors Titan XS. This little drone, a 3-inch drone, was graciously given to me for the purposes of this review by Beaver FPV. So if you haven't checked out Beaver FPV yet, pause this video right now, go check out beaverfpv.com because those guys are freaking awesome. They have a great selection of parts and gear, and they have extremely fast shipping, great customer service, and they're just awesome people to deal with. So please make sure you check out beaverfpv.com. Anyway, back to the issue at hand here. We're doing a build on the 3-inch Titan XS right here from Saturn Multirotors that came on this super fancy laser cut box, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, the frame itself is pretty neat. It's about I think 3mm carbon. Let's check it out here. Yep, 3mm of carbon, so this should be fairly strong, fairly crash resistant, especially considering that the weight is going to be so low. So yeah, let's get down to it and let's check out the parts that I'm going to be using on this build. Alright guys, so let's take a look here at what came with the box itself. So I'm going to just move this stuff out of the way. We'll get back to those in a second, but in the box, what you will find is a nice piece of carbon cut in a stretch X format, which I find is pretty neat for a 3-inch, and it comes with the little booties right here to protect your motors from crashes and protect the edges out of here. It has this very nice TPU 3D printed canopy that looks just like something out of, I don't know, some like Japanese sci-fi mecha robot thing. And it looks pretty resilient. It's a little bit flexible, but not too flexible, and this is what's going to house your camera in VTX. And I have to say the quality of the print is super nice. If I'm not mistaken, these guys right here, PB3D, they do the 3D printing for Shen drones. So all the canopies you see with the Shen drones, I think are printed by these guys. And I can see why. The quality is really, really nice. And so it's gonna look really nice. I like this pink stuff. It came with this nice baggie of separated parts, which I think is pretty cool. So it has the two standoffs. They're one size, and then another one that's a different size. So for the back, all the nuts and bolts that you're gonna need, as well as some shims and spacers and stuff to mount your flight controller with, which I thought was pretty neat. It came with a nice business card too, all reflective, and this cool sticker. And I believe this is a little tray for holding your battery strap, which it also came with. So you get all this cool stuff from Saturn Multirotors on this one little package, and it seems like a really neat addition to the 3-inch market, which seems to be taking off a lot. I hear at races and so on, some people are winning, or at least coming very close to keeping, or being able to keep up very well with the 5-inch quads flying these tiny little light machines. So let's take a look here at the parts that I've gotten for this build. Oh crap, I dropped something. Oh well, we'll find it. Anyway, so we have the drone here. Alright, leave that there for a sec. So let's start with the motors. So I picked out the Brother Hobby T2 motors, T1 motors, 1407, 4000 kV. And these have like ridiculously strong magnets. Like I have to really try to turn it. So there's a lot of torque on these guys. I have flown these before on another 3-inch that I built, and they were good. However, I didn't build that 3-inch the right way. I made that 3-inch too heavy, so it didn't fly nice. And I ended up getting rid of it, so I'm excited to try my hand at a 3-inch again. And this time I'm trying to go for the lightest build I could possibly go with. So we have the Brother Hobby T1 1407 4000 kV, which will be swinging these cool little luminaire props. Oh, almost didn't get it. Here we go. So it's going to be swinging these matchy pink luminaire. These are 3x4x3, so very pretty little props actually. Very light. They look really nice. Kind of remind me a little bit of like a racecraft prop or something like that, like the 5051s. I don't know, but yeah, I think it's gonna go very well with the the pink setup that we have going here. So I'm excited to try these props too, because the props that I tried on my old 3-inch weren't that great. They were just these dowels, and they look like giant paddles, and yeah, no, not a great prop. So excited to try these. Let's see what else we've got here. So keeping in the spirit of maintaining this as light as possible, we have here an Iakeen 4-in-1 ESC. This one is only a 10 amp. So this build is going to be limited to 3S right now, and I have a couple 3S batteries coming, and I'm not too worried about it. 3S should be more than enough for what I want to do with it. I'm not actually planning on using this thing for racing, because I like racing 5-inch. What I want this for is to fly around the park, do a little bit of flying in garages, stuff like that. So the 3S power should be more than enough for what I need. Later on, if I want to, I can easily swap this out for a 20 amp ESC once they come out. They don't yet have these in 20 amp configuration for this size. These are 20 by 20. and I really wanted to keep the build as light as possible, so that's why I selected the 20x20 here, and later on I can swap for a 20 amp if I want to. I also have a Yakin Minikube flight controller called the Halo F3. No, that's the OSD. Okay, so apparently it has built-in AOSD and everything, which I find quite neat, especially for a board that's this small. Nothing too special on it other than that, but it is an F3, and it pairs really nicely with the ESC that I selected. They even have like the same little cabling, so you just hook the two up, boom, good to go. And this weighs nothing. I'll be going into more detail on the features of the flight controller when we actually get down to building it, but that's why I selected these two. They're going to be super nice and small, and they're going to fit right there in the middle. Boom, boom, boom. Nice light build. However, if you pay attention to the frame, it does have holes outside so that you could run a full-size ESC 4-in-1 or a full-size FC on this guy, no problem. But as I said, I'm trying to go as light as I possibly could with this thing. So we've got that, we've got the ESC and the flight controller, and then receiver-wise, really all I'm using is the R6, Radiolink R6 DSM, which is like the micro version of the Radiolink stuff, and I have mine swapped out with a dipole antenna instead of the little whip, so you get a little bit better range out of these guys using this setup, and it's going to weigh absolutely nothing because it's like less than the size of a quarter. I've used these a lot in micros, and I have actually even used these on some full 5-inch quads, and they do work okay. However, their range is a bit reduced from the full-size receiver, and I can't really figure out why, because as far as I can tell, this is like literally just that radio piece of the receiver. Even like the traces, everything looks the same and just removed out, and then they put a little whip antenna. I've been putting the dipoles on, so maybe I suspect that the tuning of my dipoles here isn't quite right, even though these are supplied by the manufacturer. I like got a crap ton of these antennas, so whew. Moving along, so we got the receiver there. We are going to be using our trusty HS1177 Fox Series 1.8 camera lens, and this is a donation from another dead quad, but this is actually pretty brand new. It only had like 5 flights on it before I wrecked the quad, and so this is one of the surviving bits, and we're going to be using it on this build right here, and it's going to fit really nicely inside of the canopy. There's like nice little holes for it and everything else, and there's like a little bit of like ratcheting so that you can like fix it there, but it doesn't seem to work that well with 1.8s. No, it should work okay. Yeah, it's gonna work okay with 1.8, so not too worried. Excellent. So we got that, the little pod, and this is new to me. I have not used this before, but I've heard really good things about it. This is the Yakin VTX 03, the Banggood Special $12 VTX, and it like really is bare bones. It is just this thing. I believe it does 25, 50, and 200 milliwatt. It has race band, has one button change just like you're used to, but with the actual segment number readout instead of the little LEDs, which I find a little bit better. The only downfall of this guy here, as I understand it, is that it runs on 5 volt. So I have to have some sort of voltage regulator. But the Yakin Microcube thingy came with this like tiny little micro regulator right here. And I'm not sure what the voltage of it is. I'm going to test it out later when we actually go to build this thing, but like, yeah, it looks like it. Like, look at that thing. Either that or this is a filter. Actually, you know what? Oh yeah, this is a filter. Yep, this is not a voltage regulator. I'm quite sure that this is a filter. So interesting. So I guess this is for you to use to power the camera as well. So as I understand it, I can power this with 5 volts, and this will actually power my camera with 5 volts as well. So I'm hoping this is going to work out really well, because this should all slide very nicely right here behind the camera. See that? Boom. So this is just going to slide in there, go right out the top, and this is just going to tape right there to the back somehow. And that's it. Like, this is going to be easy, guys. You're going to build this in no time at all. Alright guys, so that pretty much covers it on the parts for the Titan XS build, and I just wanted to give a huge thank you to Beaver FPV for giving me this frame to review. These guys are awesome and great to deal with, so I hope you guys go and check them out as well. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel because I have some great content coming in the next few weeks. We're going to be doing a build of the FPV Syndicate Shredder. It's a frame that probably nobody has heard of, and it's a Canadian invention, or a Canadian creation, and I'm going to be bringing that to you guys, as well as some Omnibus F7 action with the new 32-bit BL Heli S Wraith ESCs. So I've heard a lot of talk about those. Apparently the big feature of the new BL Heli really is the ability to talk to it digitally and have some room to run some new types of features for the future. But I have also heard rumors that it does make your quad feel better in terms of a smoother throttle response, And I heard somewhere, oh, and yeah, in the FPV show, somebody said that they heard from somebody else, and his uncle said something about the changing the ESCs and gaining something like 10 miles per hour on your quad. I don't know. So we're gonna find out together when I get the quad and when I get those parts and we start doing the build. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time.